And I guess that's like the biggest one I can think of right now. We have some other things, but like I'm just coming down from the conference, and to be honest, I have to catch up on some things. But there's definitely other things coming up for the rewards working group, and I'll pass it over to you, Ash.
Thanks, Franco. I think for Communitas, our biggest goal in the next 30 days is getting the next Meet the Makers event all scheduled and outreach done and projects lined up to be there, as well as like just creating this more of a viral campaign around Meet the Makers, including it in different comms pieces and things like this, and coming up with a strategy there. Also, maybe looking into bringing on one of the ambassadors as a community builder. So, like, coming up with a role description for what that person would do, and like finding out like our biggest tasks that we would need filled moving on. But I mean, our working group proposal got passed, scheduled to grow. So, yeah, start looking into some of these things. Maybe also just starting to do some more research around what's working in other communities for building techniques and just like forming some strategy there, but doing a lot more research on community building. And I will pass it to Hi.
GM. Do you need help with the nodes, Griff?
No.
No, okay, fine. So for us, the biggest thing is probably we want to finish this monolithic deployment that we have to reduce the complexity, also the cost of running Giveth, and lay a good foundation for other stuff that's coming in different, offshoots, or I don't want to call it offshoots, like our sister projects. They should have a strong foundation, and we can give better guidance once we have the thing running. It's called Giveth All. It's on GitHub. That's one of the things. The other is like, onboarding a new person, like hiring and onboarding a new person. So we can complete a 24-hour schedule incident wheel around the world. Yeah, and many little things, long-standing issues like finally change to Subgraph Studio and stuff. But that's the biggest. I don't want to go too long. I'm not sure. Should I give it to Surbia or .eth?
No, actually, this one, although I guess, Surbi, it would be great for you to introduce yourself, because I bet a lot of people don't know you.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, I am so happy to be here. So this is my first day with Giveth, and I'm super excited about that. So I am joining as marketing strategy contributor, and yes, looking forward to work with you all.
Excellent. Wow. Thank you, Surbi. Yeah, and in this call, you'll probably end up just mostly watching. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, and I hope everyone can, if you need anything, feel free to DM any of us in this call to support you, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sure. So let's dive straight into it. If you guys have any agenda topics, we have 15 more minutes to talk about things. So just like put them in here. Two things. Oh, let me give Ivy a hug. One thing. Bye, Ivy. Have a nice flight. Yeah, see you there. Okay, so Giveth Incentives Program. So this is a big, and then I also want to talk QF launch. Like, I don't know, I guess I feel like it might need to be a bigger priority for the Communitas working group, I assume. I was surprised you didn't mention that, actually, Ashley, as like a big push this month. So,
I'm sorry, what for QF?
Yeah, I don't know if there's things, I assume there's lots of stuff to do with QF and community. So, but let's get there in a second. I want to at least broach the topic and maybe time box it for 10 minutes to talk about a potential incentives program that I'd really love to like push out there. And this is like kind of a way to rally everyone around some ideas, like around some metrics, basically, so that we have like clear, like this is what we're all trying to aim for. And so I kind of put these out to Lauren, Amin, and Monique already, and I just want to like spread the meme a little further and see if we can get it locked in before Burning Man. But the idea is like, hey, what if we make some goals, some that are easy to measure, and then every time that a goal is met, the NR Give recipients from last round would each get $500. Everyone basically who's working enough for Giveth to get NR Give would get $500. And then these were the 5 goals that I was going to look for. So obviously making money, because I don't want people to feel like they're not working towards one of those goals if they're working for GM. So like if Giveth becomes profitable, basically, if we get like large donors, lots of large donors, if we get lots of donors in general, if we get lots of projects, onboarding more projects, and give economy success. So like give go up, obviously. So, and the idea is that it would need to be consistent, like 2 months in a row. So like the first goal would be that the monthly revenue covers expenses. That like Giveth is actually profitable, which honestly, with how much work we're doing for GM and all of the grants that we're looking for, this is totally doable. I think. Honestly, I think it might be the easiest one on the list, which is crazy. Then like for 2 months in a row, getting over 200K in donations on the platform, not to us directly, but just actually on Giveth. 2 months in a row, having over 500 unique donors that donate $20 or more. So I think QF could really help us get there. If QF is a huge success, 2 months in a row, I think we would get there, for instance. Verifying over 60 projects, having 60 new projects verified 2 months in a row. I mean, I love your feedback on that one, Ashley, if that makes sense. And then give token goes up 50% 2 months in a row, basically. So like those are the 5 metrics I was thinking of, and then also the idea in general of like people getting a bonus of $500. Like, I don't know, what do you guys think of this concept? Any feedback, any thoughts? All right, yeah, go ahead.
I like the concept. Yeah, some of the stuff happens like semi-arbitrarily though. Like especially like give token goes up. Like eventually that'll happen when we reach a bull market, and it might be because we did nothing, you know? It seems like a bit of a strange one. Although I see how we could also work towards that being a goal, you know? We could work towards that happening.
I think that's in general the goal that would help everything the most. I appreciate like the individual incentive. It's just we could also use the money to prop up Give. I'm not a token. I'm not a big token. I don't even know the word. Tokenomist. Is there a word? It's tokenomist. Token economist, but yeah, I'm always like, yeah, I wish we had a better system there that, you know, like at least like helped this token. But I like incentives, so, and I like you know, call to action. So I wonder a bit how, like, you know, like some of these they're just like, they're cool words and like good call to actions, but it seems like we are doing all these, like we are trying to get lots of donors, we are trying to get big donors, and I would like to know what's different now that like we say we do this. You know. Is there like do you think because it's incentivized it will be more like we will hit the target easier?
I guess this is my question to you guys. Do you think that it would help or not?
I think most. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, man. I'm interrupting you. You can finalize what you think.
No, I just feel like all these are very big points, and they require like planning and really a strategy and stuff. I like that. So point number one is like what you are working on a lot, and so big props there. Like you did make a lot of headway here, and if you say that Giveth is profitable, I think that's like wow, that's like the main applause I can give to you, because this is insane, insane accomplishment. And but these other ones are really huge projects, and like I was not sure, but the time frame is a month or 2 months? No, longer.
It would be running. The concept would that they'd be running, and then like if we ever have 2 months in a row where we have over 200K in donations, then every NR Give token holder from the last round, like every of the people who were rewarded with NR Give in the last round, would get if we had 3 months in a row of 200K in donations or more, then like everybody's getting $500 extra. And a lot of the thought here is like, okay, if we have these big donations, we're probably getting people to that's bringing some real TVL, and that's bringing kind of, it's like, that's bringing some notoriety, it's bringing some projects, and it probably brings more donors in general. And we do have revenue streams for this, right? Like 5% of your donation goes to Giveth, or like if they're going into a QF round, we get 10% of that. So like actually, if we get 200K in donations, that should be able to cover, a little bit more than 200K. That should be able to cover this $500 bonus, right? And same with these smaller donations. They're more likely to donate 5%, for instance, of their donation to Giveth. And so you start doing that a lot. And, if we hit the exact bottom of the line, no, we won't cover the 500, but it has to be done 2 months in a row. So like, I think that we would end up getting some of this money from the only one that doesn't really like bring in revenue directly is like 60 new projects verified, but I wanted to give something for the project verification team and the Communitas team, basically, to like be trying to bring in new projects.
My last point is like to just follow Lauren. Like this is really all market. Like we are such slaves of the market, it seems, with our platform. And I mean, in a reversed market, some of these would hopefully, realize themselves. And one thing I'm always pondering is like, how can we, at that time, be in an ultimate position to really reap some rewards, like for the next time, because we always seem to be like almost hitting it, like we kind of miss it, we build so hard that like at the end we're always ready, and then everything collapses and nobody's interested in crypto, and that just makes it so much harder.
Totally. So there's 1 minute left in this time box though. Does anyone have any other inputs on these incentive programs?
Me.
Yeah, Monique.
Me. I'm just preparing something, I told you, but I just want to put your attention on this, that the revenue is a thing, the cash flow is a thing, and the value of the share is another. So some startups, sacrifice one of these two for another. For example, they want to burn lots of cost for the growth, and they just injecting, capital to the company. So what I'm saying right now, that you're doing it by buying Give token. So when you buy Give token at the end of the round, or I don't know where, you just put some money in the company, make it survive, and and make your cash flow a little bit, with deficits. What I'm wondering is that what you're looking for, if you want to target strategically with the corporate actions, if you want to, for example, have more capitalists or kinds of partners in this game, you have to spend a lot of money here, most than what you have, and the problem is not about the cash flow optimizing. So the KPI number one, is nonsense here.
Hold on, we're out of time, Monique. We're out of time. But number one is a lot of people are working for GM right now. So like, it's not that it's nonsense as much as it's like, it's something people are doing. So we should incentivize. And what I want to say is, maybe strategically as a team, it might be worth talking about like, oh, let's just go for monthly revenue and 60 projects verified. These other two are not achievable. That might be a strategy that as a team we decide to go for. Okay, but we are out of time, and I want to make sure that for the QF launch that we have like basically all working groups like in full force on what needs to be done for QF launch. So I think, I don't know if you have anything to add here, Lauren, but I could just bullshit stuff if you don't.
We're going to be running some testing parties tomorrow. Franco just posted in the Give Economy channel with the times. He just created 2 events. So we're going to have like one like kind of like earlier time Europe time, later time Europe time. So depending on what time zone you're in, like try to join at least one of those testing parties. The idea is just like try to like make donations, try to like just like play with things and see to make sure that they're all making sense. Also, what else? Well, the round will have, just for your information, the round will have like $10,000 in it, and we're going to be trying to like target 25 to 50 projects. We send an email out to, basically we're choosing the top projects who raised the most funding on Giveth so far. So like Danny's here, DBC is in it. I'm pretty sure Bridging Digital Communities is part of it too. Kai, yep, you are. Add an update to your project if you want to be on the round. If you don't want to be on the round, you're like, come on, why am I always getting money for this?
I have an update, yeah.
Add an update if you want to be in it, and don't add an update if you don't want to be in it. But like also, if you really don't want to be, if you don't want to be in it and you're sure you're not going to add an update, send me a DM so that we can reach out to another project. But basically, we send an email out to all of the projects and are trying to get them to add an update. And if they add an update, they'll be part of the round. It's not all of the projects, only the ones we emailed, basically. It's like the top 50 projects who raised money so far on Giveth.
I think it's raised over like $1,200.
Yeah, it's like it's who raised over right now $928. If you raised over $928 as of sometime last week when we pulled this data, then we will have emailed you, basically. We basically just needed to set specific criteria in order to like get a group of projects, and we wanted to pick projects that were already kind of like active previously on Giveth, and that was our best way of doing it. If you have a project, add an update. And Algene, just FYI, Algene is going to be doing a bunch of outreach to these projects, telling them to add updates. And then we're going to be putting them in the round like on Monday. So it's like crazy final crunch time. So that's just like some information to you on the projects. $10,000 is going to be available in matching funds, and the round is going to be 2 weeks. It's going to run from July 18th to August 1st, hopefully. And we're not doing a lot of like loud promotions like we're launching QF, blah, blah, blah. We will make an announcement about it, but we're kind of treating it like a real alpha round, knowing that like maybe some things will go wrong. And this is like our live test with real projects and like a relatively small matching pool. But we're getting like funding from Public Nouns and from Status and like maybe from other people. Griff is working on that. So that's going to be good. And yeah, basically what I need from you is to become familiar with QF. So join either one of the testing parties that are set up for tomorrow. And then just like also reach out if you have any questions. Probably a lot of people I've already been talking to. Like we're doing like some comm stuff and adding the projects, etc. But yeah, does that about cover it, Griff? Anything I missed?
How can each of the working groups help? Like, is there something that Communitas can do?
Well, yeah, Ashley's reviewing all of the projects who had updates and telling me like, yes, no, they did it. And basically I'm going to get her to add them into the round. Yeah, I'm also getting like Algene to be doing all the outreach to people. So like, that's kind of like Communitas and comms. And we're also going to be drafting from comms, like partnership announcements, tweets. So I'll be needing some support from there. We're going to be needing support in the support channel during the round. So becoming familiar with how QF works beforehand is really important. So like, that's like kind of would be nice to be everyone's responsibility for this week if everyone could understand like how it works. I'm getting Franco's support with getting the documentation up. So we'll have some information about how estimated matching, et cetera, is calculated in more details. I need support from fundraising to be like, look, these projects are raising funding. Look, we're running QF, donate to our matching pool. We want more matching to go to our matching pool for future rounds. Interesting information for like partnerships, team partnership and fundraising is that we want to be running rounds with other groups, like we're talking to Polygon about running around for Polygon projects. So like, if you know Cello, if you're connected with Optimism and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys sponsored a matching pool and then you could pick the projects and then we could run a QF round for those projects? That's opportunities that we can do with QF. So like when we have this live round too, you can be like, look, it's working right now. This is our first round. This is how things are working. Yeah. What other working groups? Development working group knows what they got to do. We've been busting our asses trying to get it out. Monique is like such a freaking hero. So in development working group, I need you to make everything work. And we're doing that together. Yeah, exactly. The answer to Katabi's question, what's the best way to understand how our QF is working, is to join a QF testing party tomorrow. Try to use it and ask questions. I'll be there and supporting everybody, basically. Yeah. I went a bit over time. Is that all? Anything else? Any other questions? You're on mute, Griff.
I think it's perfect. One thing that's worth sharing is this doc that I'm passing around to people about joining the Quadratic Force, especially since I see Jake in there. This is a juicy one if you know anyone who would like to donate to
the matching pool.
The matching pool, yeah. So like it could probably be formatted a little bit better if someone wants to get in there and make it prettier. Man, that would be great. But yeah. Like the main thing is a donation of $1,000 or more will get your banner, get like an icon on the banner. You'll get to choose one project to add to the round, and you'll get givebacks, right? So I'll just say 1,000. Is it okay if I just say 1,000? And yeah, there's some projects that are like under 1,000. I think that's okay. Instead of $928, Yeah. Anyway, I'll pass it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. And it might make sense for our comms just to say that too.
And it was by a certain date. Like, we pulled the numbers, we emailed the projects. If they donated $1,000 to their project now to get in the round, it won't work.
Yeah. So that's the other side of fundraising, understanding it. I think this should be like a good overview. But we can talk about that more in the fundraising call. Let's jump over to governance. We have a whole crew here. So intentions, distractions, and let's keep it quick. My intentions are to whatever, like host a great call. And distractions are that, Mitch isn't here and I don't know what I'm doing. I'll throw it over to Lauren.
My intentions are to basically tell you that the QF snapshot vote is live, as well as the Give Economy Working Group snapshot is live, so you can vote to grow, shrink, sustain, or kill it. It's going to be really hard to kill it right now, even if you voted no. But at this point, because it's going to go live next week. But anyway, you have the option, exercise your governance rights. And sorry for the long check-in, but I'm distracted by trying to get QF going and running around. I'll pass it to Monique.
I'm just here to think with you guys, try to be more engaged on the votes, updates, and I'm a little bit distracted because I'm so exhausted today. And I pass it to Danny. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just excited about this quadratic funding and getting my updates in. I'm looking at all the votes here. That's actually going to be my focus this week, is making sure all the projects that qualify have all their updates, and planning the rewards realm. And only thing I'm distracted by is my beautiful grandson wants to hang out with me today because I just landed in Tennessee. And I will pass it to Kai.
Hey, GM. Nice. My intention is to have a great chaos call without Mitch, and reminds me of the old days, and no distractions actually. I want to pass it along quickly, so I give it to Jake the Snake.
Yeah, I'm back in black. I'm in the sack, as AC/DC said. So here I am, intentions for the call. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm just lost. But I hope Giveth is still the same as when I left it. Distractions, I am getting ready for ECC, so registering for a bunch of events next week. Let me pass it to Ash.
Thanks, Jake. My intentions for the call are to tell you that givebacks votes are up, and go vote for givebacks. Also, stream the call and to just see what's going on and celebrate that my working group proposal passed. And I'll pass it to Stuga.
Thank you, Ashley. Everybody, intentions just syncing up. Distracted, by some 11th hour work with Common Stack, but here to see all your lovely faces. And I'll pass to Nicola.
Thanks, Suga. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Okay, well, just here to align on what's on the plate, on the governance plate for this week, and no distractions. And I'm going to pass it to Heather.
Yeah, somebody can say to me, yep, my intentions are just to see what's going on in the forum and debate and discuss about it, and no distractions. And I'm going to pass it over to Tony Stark because we just had an interview for the DevOps role. So I'm so happy to see him here.
Hi, thank you for that. My intentions are to learn more about Giveth culture. I'm kind of like trying to see what's going on. And distraction is kind of like another issue on a project I'm working on. It's an open source project I'm working on. But yeah, that's about it. I'll pass it on to Lauren.
I already went.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. Let's throw it over to Surbi. And feel free to introduce yourself, Surbi.
Yes, I am so happy to be here. This is my first few calls. This is my first day today. So I'm just attending all the calls which are taking place just to get a sense of what's happening across the Giveth ecosystem. So yes, happy to be here.
Yeah.
I will pass it on to Matteo.
Hey guys. Now I'm just here to listen, no intention particular, just, be present. Santi, have you gone?
Thank you, Mateo. Just here to sync up, see where I have to put my attention on votes and forum posts, and no distractions. And I'll pass it to Franco. I think he didn't go yet.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Intentions for the calls, just catching up with votes, let you know that we have round 12 of distributions out, and we'll probably do it's round 12 or 14, I think, and maybe we'll get 15 out today. And yeah, that's it. Distractions, no distractions whatsoever. I'll pass it over to, I think it was the last one, maybe, Kotabe?
GM. Hey, also here to sync up. Pass it back to Rick.
Nice. Is that everyone? I think so. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's get this party started. Before we get too far into the bureaucracy of this call, I want to make sure to leave 5 minutes for ETH Barcelona highlights. Anybody have any quick stories or success stories or things that they want to make sure that we remember about our epic adventure in Barcelona? Awesome things that happened in the booth. Yeah, Ashley.
I was gonna say we put on so many patches and people were super stoked about like our swag and our choice to use patches and thought it was a great idea. So that was like a hit. So good job, Lauren, and I think Nicola. Those are good ideas. I also got to connect with some community spotlights. So we've got some coming up, some cool collaboration opportunities. People are generally really stoked and comparable to ETH Denver, like I realized that a lot more of the people coming up to the booth, like of course there's people coming up to the booth that's like, what's Giveth? But there was such a higher percentage of people who already knew about Giveth, so it was a lot easier to go like a bit deeper with some of the people who were coming to the booth, which I think is a lot better than what we did at ETH Denver because it's just so much information to put on people, you know, when they don't know at all what Giveth is. So it's really nice to be in a crowd where people are familiar with us, know what we're up to, and we can kind of like take them a little bit further into some of the things.
I agree with Ashley. The patches were a plus. It gave us time to talk to the person that was willing to put the patch on their backpack or whatever, and you know, be able to chat with them for a longer period of time. And it's something quite visible for those who put it on. Same than a T-shirt, and they just don't come for the swag. You know, they come there, they see the patch, and they want to get to know what we do, and you know, we have plenty of time to explain them. So I think it's a complete plus.
I guess for me, it was great to see people running around and collecting, making their tasks for the Impact Quest. That was fun. I saw a lot of people engaging and then the second thing that I really enjoyed was that how much time we were able to spend together and have some cool bonding activities that were a little longer, a little tiring, but I learned maybe next time it's going to be more flexible, but that was great for me. That's one of the highlights. And also just networking, meeting new people, getting inspired.
It's always a pleasure to meet in person. That's an absolutely blast when you have a chance to talk face to face to all of the team. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, Ahmad, when he came here and he was just like, "You're real!" Every time he hugged someone, "Oh my God, you're a real person!" It was so funny and cute. Honestly, it was really nice to have the IRL impact. Another thing that was interesting, I thought, was that we had two booths, and I heard a few people say that it was like, well, in some ways, it's draining to have to talk about another project like Retro PGF. Like it was just like, you know, it's like, it's not our project, you know, so it's kind of like, why are we here? But on the other side, it would also give some interesting perspectives of this, like, how simple Retro PGF is compared to the Giveth complexity and how much easier it is to talk about Retro PGF because we have like, maybe we have less context in it and it's like, we just have our clear talking points and they're all pretty simple. Whereas with Giveth, it's like there's so many angles that we can go into and like there's like so many things that we could do. So, and it's just so complex. So that's like the toughest part. And I don't know how we can make our talking points for the give economy and what people are doing more simple. But it seems like that's something that would help us a lot. Any last comments? ETH Barcelona? Okay. then let's move on to our normally scheduled programming. There are some votes up, so maybe we will. The simple ones are in our Give DAO. I think these guys are up, right? Ashley, do you have anything to say about these?
Nope, just that they're up there. I don't know. It took me a long time to get into it, so you guys just be patient, open it in a tab, and let it just sit there and load. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but it's been very slow for me. So just be patient.
Is it the 88% or the 95%?
95. So it's 123 and 124.
So it's probably still loading.
Yeah.
But rock the vote, guys. We got 95% votes, and they only have like 24 hours to pass. So please get in there. If you got NR Give, please help us vote these things through. There was nothing crazy, right, Ashley, around Givebacks round 39?
No, nothing weird, nothing. I mean, the only thing that it was just so low these last two rounds. Like, we've had like very small amounts of donations, and so I don't know if there's something that we can take into consideration or that we can do as an organization to try to make this better. But I know that's like some of the goals we were talking about in the Stewards call as well, is like how do we bring more donations. But these last two rounds was like, I think this round was only like just $1,000 or like $1,200 or something like that in donations.
In 2 weeks. That's really bad. It's really bad. So that's probably the biggest news from this round, from round 39. Tragic underutilization of Giveth. So hopefully we can turn that around. And then let's go into the there's one multi-sig transaction that can be ignored. It was basically like we heard Panvala was shutting down, and then we tried to like sell it, but there was no chance. The market went to nothing. So we have some pan, and it's just going to sit in our wallet. So you can just ignore the multi-sig vote that's there in our Ether multi-sig. Other than that, there are two active proposals that I think we should go into, and maybe Lauren, they're both yours, so I don't know which one you want to start with, but this is your show. Maybe we try to time box it to like 2 or 3 minutes for each proposal. You can give a breakdown.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I did give a breakdown last week about the working group proposal stuff, but it's all in the forum. The snapshot vote is live right now, so you can vote for grow, sustain, shrink, no, and like a TLDR of like major differences between grow and sustain for the QF working group is that grow includes adding in Giveth Pro. So this basically means that projects will need to stake Give tokens on their projects, or someone else, third parties can stake Give tokens on projects in order to get them in the round. And then those Give tokens could be slashed if they're found to be doing some sketchy stuff. And also Grow included a little bit more support on onboarding people to both Giveth Pro, or I'm calling it Give Staking, and also onboarding them onto Optimism. The shrink proposal just basically cut out a lot of stuff regarding it was like, okay, we won't do documentation and no Giveth Pro, no documentation, no Optimism stuff. I did leave a final comment answering some questions here today when I put up the snapshot vote. Basically just to provide like a quick update of like, okay, we decided to like kind of like crunch and reduce scope and sort of just like push this out a little earlier. So I think actually probably the sustain budget will end up being less because we just like crammed a lot of development time. It's hard with this government proposal process. We're also working and doing things at the same time. So like our budget for the next 3 months will probably be less just because we're not like stretching it out over the period of time. And we like crammed in developer resources in the last couple of weeks before this proposal even passed. But rather than redoing the whole proposal, just there's some information for you. But yeah, also there's some information about like kind of like some expectations regarding like how successful QF was on Gitcoin and like funding that went to projects and onboarding of many projects, blah, blah, blah. So vote your opinions on whether or not you want to grow, shrink, or sustain this working group. Personally, I think sustain is the best option. And but yeah, I don't know. Or if you really like Give staking, vote for Grow. Whatever. Give Economy Working Group. Give Economy Working Group is sort of like more of a mixed bag of things. I didn't put a lot of effort into re-updating the proposal to remove like project review and like estimates for that. So the budget will probably be a little bit lower than it is like currently projected here, with that kind of being taken up by the DApps working group. But anyways, the difference between Grow and Sustain is ultimately improvements to the referral program user experience, and having extra bandwidth to do other things like when people ask us to do them. I didn't really know how to like allocate that into the working group proposal, so I just kind of was like, okay. If we were just going to do the bare minimum and we don't want to add any more budget to this, like here's what I budgeted for stuff we agreed to doing, but like stuff gets thrown at the Give Economy Working Group all the time from fundraising and from random people wanting different things. So if you vote for Grow, it means you want us to do the things that are thrown at us. And if you vote for Sustain, it means you want us to do the things that I promised we'd do here in this proposal, minus the project review stuff, which goes in the DApps working group. That's pretty much it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to answer any questions here if anyone has any questions about either of those proposals.
Last chance before the vote. Do you guys have any questions about the QF or Give Economy working groups? Well, they're great proposals and really nice grow shrink. If anyone has the last question, feel free to put it on the forum or interject right now. And otherwise, we're moving on to keep this party going. So well done. Thanks, Lauren, for taking the time to explain us the grow shrink and all that game. Okay, there's nothing in the Give Garden and our Give DAO we already talked about. Actually, let's just cruise the forum and see if there's anything juicy worth talking about. Let's see, we got givebacks out. Doesn't look like there's anything so much to talk about other than, we can kind of like Ashley was saying, we can celebrate a couple of wins. Communitas got the Grow. Also last week, DAOps was voted to Grow. Actually, this just happened hours ago. Final is in, and it was, talk about a close match, right? Like, oof. Those were just like, we're talking like, oh my God, so close. So pretty crazy, actually, but Grow took it. So there it is. DAOps is growing. That closed like 2 hours ago. And I think that's it. Is there any other topics that people want to make sure to discuss? No? Okay, well, then I will just give the classic PSAs. Make sure to remember we're clocking our time out in Clockify, and you can use all that stuff. You can know how to use Clockify. It's been great so far. Way better than Coda, is what I've been hearing from people. Also, don't forget to do buddy reviews. We have the self-review form, which is for like, when you want to like review yourself for your buddy reviews. So if you have a buddy review, if you want to schedule a buddy review, make sure to fill out that form so your buddy knows what you're thinking. But also we have the contributor feedback form. And this is like any time of any day, if you feel like you could give feedback on someone that they could either be doing a better job or they need to go on vacation, or like they're just kicking ass and you want to like make sure to make a special note of it, check out the feedback form here. And it's not just for your buddy, it's for anybody that you see doing well. And I guess, just for the last few minutes, I don't know, Lauren, the biggest thing that we have in the next week is QF. I believe there's testing parties, right?
Yeah, there are 2 testing parties tomorrow. Check the Give Economy channel for the times and the links to the event invites in your time zone. But basically, there's like one earlier in the Europe time and one later in the Europe time, which is like midday in the Costa Rica time. So definitely join one of those 2 buddy calls or two review calls or test parties. One of those 2 test parties. Please join one at least so that you can ask questions and become familiar with how QF works. Because I think like having our crew be able to explain how it works, be able to support people who have questions, and having like more people in the know will be really, really important. So it doesn't just fall to a few. Thanks.
Yeah. So I'm going to reiterate this. I just put the link in the chat. Click that link. Pick one of these times. And please, please, please help us test QF. Let's make an epic product where it's like, oh, wow. Like Giveth launched this thing and it just works right out the bat. This is amazing. This is what we all wanted QF to be. Well done, Giveth. Or if without your help, it might be like, oh man, QF must be really hard to launch because everyone who launches it sure does suck. So like let's see if we have 8 days. It's really go time. If you guys have an hour to spare, please join the testing party. Help us make issues and let's and then also learn about QF so we can promote it when after the launch is successful, like throughout the week or 2 after the QF. Cool. Then I guess I'll just give everyone their 4 minutes back. Well done. Thank you all for coming to the governance call, and we'll see you in fundraising call in 4 minutes if you want.
Yay! See you all there.
Thanks.
Thanks.